Hello everyone, this is Nilanjana. Today I would like to discuss a very recent topic with all of you. And the topic is that the cryosphere is shrinking. Now, why this is happening, how this is happening, and what we can do for it for all its proceedings will be we'll be discussing in this full discussion session. Now, before without any further ado, let me share the screen with all of you. So I hope my screen is visible to all of you. Yeah, it's visible. Okay, so the topic, as I have just spoken to all of you, that the topic is the Earth's cryosphere is shrinking by 87,000 per year. This is a very huge notion. I must say, this is a very huge notion. Like the cryosphere carries an immense importance to all of us, like for the earth's surface, for our survival. Now, why this is happening, like the crucial stages within it, like the processes, the functioning. So we will be discussing this whole, like whatever the happenings is related with this phenomenon, we'll be discussing every bit in this session. Okay, now the basic thing, like I have divided this whole discussion into six parts. Okay, so we'll be discussing the process with part by part, so it will be very helpful for all of us to understand the process also. And dividing any kind of topic, like if we divide any kind of topic into separate phases, it also like clears our knowledge perceptions too. Okay, so as you all can see, so I have divided the structure. So what is it hereby? Now we have like six basic parts over here. First of all, I would like to discuss with all of you, like what is my cryosphere, then the importance of the cryosphere, then what is this present situation basically. Now the causes of the present situation, and the next part will be my consequences of the present situation, and next and the last point will be like how to overcome the issue. Like all these processes are very important. Like we need to know, as I have discussed the topic, like just I have said the topic, cryosphere, our cryosphere is shrinking. Now, before indulging into the further progressive nature of our discussion, we first need to know what is my cryosphere, like what basically is our cryosphere. Now everyone, like cryosphere is basically the frozen part of our Earth's surface. Now we all know, like our Earth's surface, like the interior, like it's totally divided into outer layer and the inner layer. So the inner part is totally divided into three parts, that is the crust, mantle, core, and beyond it the protective layer, which is helping us to like give all kind of protections to all of us. It's given by us by the atmosphere. Now surrounding it, like we are living, like we have basically, like we are living on the land surface, but water bodies is carries also an immense importance for our survival. Similarly, like every bit, like as we know, like ecosystem carries an immense important structure. Similarly, every part of the biological factor, it might be the abiotic or it might be the abiotic factors, every bits are carrying huge or immense importance to all of us. Now cryosphere is the frozen part of the earth system. Okay, cryosphere is the frozen or the solid part of the earth system. In the very simple word, like whatever, like the ice sheets, whatever might be glaciers, ice caps, okay, the snow, permafrost, like every, like whatever it's in the frozen form, we recognize it in the notion of our cryosphere. Now these are the places basically which are very much cold, whereby the water is usually is in a very like in a frozen structure or in the frozen solid manner. Now the areas, like this kind of areas of snow coverage is basically they remains for about 32 degree Fahrenheit for at least part of the year. Okay, so this is their basic minimal temperature. Now the term, like this is a very important thing which I need to discuss, that is the term cryosphere. Basically it comes from the Greek word cryos, K-R-I-O-S, cryos, which means cold. Okay, now ice and snow are one of the part of the cryosphere. Now I'll be showing you one diagram also, like where you'll be getting to know the parts of all the like all the phenomena of our cryosphere. Now when continental things is happening, like we have we stays in we stay in continent, like we have different kind of surroundings, 7 continents, then we have like oceanic bodies with all of us, but definitely like we have to look after the features that okay, we need everything surrounding us. Like we know like what is our isostasis. basically the equilibrium process is very much important and very much relevant. Like we need to maintain a balance between everything. Like we are going on misusing something and we are not like thinking for its conservation, this process is not going to survive, right? So for this beneficial impact, like we need to think, now we need to like make a good analysis, like what is it, why it is happening, what is the situation, and how we can overcome it. Okay, now see the other part of the cryosphere, that is the ios the other part of the cryosphere, that is my ice, which is actually found in the like in the form of my water. So this includes all the frozen part of my ocean, such as the water surrounding my Antarctica, Arctic. It also includes the frozen river and the lakes, which mainly occurs in the polar areas, because equatorial region, so we will be not finding any frozen sheets or any kind of frozen parts. Okay, now the component of the cryosphere is playing a huge important role in the Earth's climate. Now how this is creating a huge important role, now because first of all, see the any kind of frozen layers or the frozen sheets, what is its color? Its color is basically white. Now as we have already read that, as we already know that that the white bodies or the white sheets have a very good reflecting or a very good reflectional capacities. Okay, so in that situation, what happens, like the white sheets, when any kind of the temperature sheets or any kind of the different kind of reflections is happening, like the white temperature is coming over and above them, they have a huge possibility to reflect them out. Okay, but if they are like melting with this kind of motion, that is 87,000 per year, so this situation, if this continues, so like this phenomenon like creating a direct or indirect impact on our survival on this Earth's surface. Okay, so the component of cryosphere is playing a very important role on the Earth's climate. Now snow and ice reflect heat from the sun. Okay, now which is helping us to regulate the planet's temperature, because the polar regions are some of the very sensitive parts of the surface. Cryosphere is one of the first things which led by the scientists, or which helped the scientists to take a notion that yes, we are heading towards the climate change. Now this what climate change is, I have spoken in just 1 second, but this what climate change is not this small. This carries huge immense impacts, huge consequences. Now we'll be making other videos on this, but climate change is something like which is carrying like which is like for a like which is changing a long time period phenomenal shift of the climate from one phase to the another phase. This happens in regional issues also, or in the international phenomenon also. Okay, so like this is how our cryosphere is important and we need to take care of it, and this is how our cryosphere is very beneficial to all of us too. Okay, now here I'd like to show a diagram. See here, the cryosphere is in the middle part. Now we have snow, sea ice, ocean, frozen ground, rivers, glaciers, and atmosphere. Like it's all culminating. Means whatever frozen things we could have, it's all going into the like cryosphere is like accumulating all these frozen things among it. Okay. Now my next part will be, as I said, my next part will be the importance of cryosphere. Now, see, the frozen parts, they heavily, just now I have spoken about the reflecting capacity. So they were reflecting the higher temperatures, and they were making the Earth's surface like a moderate survival temperature zone. Okay, now this frozen parts, basically, they heavily influence the climate all over the world. They influence, like, they have a wide impact. Now, what happens? Like in a specific situation or in specific ground, every ecosystem have their own survival possibilities. For example, marine ecosystem, pond ecosystem, freshwater lake ecosystem, like our the land ecosystem, like different ecosystem have their different kind of the phenomenon, and they have their own zones of suitability. This we need to like have a proper notion out of it. Now wherever, like whenever this kind of situation is happening, this melting, now they were basically like their ecosystem was basically adjusted to this kind of frozen situations only. Now while they are melting, means the temperature is rising, so definitely they are facing some issues with, or they are facing some of the problems which is not letting their life or survival to go ahead with this process of functioning. Now cryosphere is an integral part of the global climate. Now how this is, like their linkages is how they are linked. For example, they are very much related for the moisture influx, inflection, like moisture circulations, their balances, imbalances, cloud formation, precipitational system, hydrological, all the manners, and the atmospheric, and the most importantly, atmospheric and the oceanic circulations. Like all the cyclones, anticyclones, all the functioning is totally depending on these two things, like pressure, temperature, wind, humidity, and these situations, and all this covering these two things, my atmospheric and the oceanic circulation. So the circulations are carrying a huge immense importance to all of us. So this circulations is totally related, as I just told all of you, that everything have a symbiotic relationship. Like every like one like unstable situation of one issue will be harassing the stable situation of other issue too. So the cryosphere is basically playing a role in mediating global and regional climatic features owing to its high albedo. Albedo is the reflecting capability, and which is deriving, it's like also like my major segment is my ocean circulations too. So they are leading to my comfortable, so this situations like this albedo making and this driving of the oceanic circulations, reducing the temperature, making a like a feasible circle, like making a feasible zone for all of us to get a moderate temperature situation, is actually they are making a stable planetary ecosystem. Okay, so this polar cryosphere is basically acting as a like a very good zone for all of us, or we can say as an air conditioner of the earth. Okay, because as we know, like extremes of anything will not help the survival of the human being on this earth. Okay, because too much of hotness will not help a person or a human being to survive, or too much of coldness will also not help a person or any kind of survival or survival being to survive on the surface of the earth. Okay, so this polar cryosphere, we can say, like, as because just now I have said that they are making a stable body, they are making a stable ecosystem for all of us to move ahead, to progress in this in this phenomenon or in this feature. So they are acting as my air conditioner for the earth. Okay, clear. Now the cryosphere, which is comprising of I'm repeating this many times, but this is the core notion, that the cryosphere basically comprising snow, ice, lakes, sea ice. Sea ice is also a very important, but the sheets which is coming out of the sea, glaciers, ice shelves, ice sheets, and the frozen ground, they are basically playing a major role on the earth's climate system, and having a good impact on its surface energy budget also, water cycle, primary productivity, surface gas exchange, and the sea level. So all these specific points creating a very important role, or playing a fundamental role in this physical, biological, social, and the huge in the ecosystem changing manner. Okay, so this is a very feasible and which is providing one of the most visible signature identification for our climate change. Means any kind of harm in any kind of ecosystem, any kind of changes, we can relate with the situations like, okay, so this means for this happening, this stability is not functioning. Okay, so like as we all know, like our earth's surface is totally are under the basis of major plates. Okay, so we have major plates and the minor plates. Now as we know that, like if any one plate or any other plate have if they moves with their converging or the diverging motion, so that means what is going to happen, they will be having a vibration. So as we know, with the vibrations they will be having a change in the situation. So with the change in situation, we can have different kind of impacts, volcanic eruption, earthquakes, tsunamis, and many more. Similarly, like those stability is like, if they were stable, the situation would have not been arising. Okay, so similar is the situation, if our ecosystem would have been a very good system, or in a very good situational to have a stable maintained ecosystem, this situation would have not been happened. Okay, so now our main motive is like, yeah, definitely, like after this discussions, now what is my cryosphere and what is the importance of cryosphere, we came to underline two things, that first of all, cryosphere is the frozen parts of the earth's surface, and second of all, cryosphere is very important for our survival in the surface of the earth. And one more thing, additional things, that cryosphere is very, like how cryosphere is important because it is interlinked, or it have a good feedback interlinkages with the like different kind of ecosystem features, precipitational features, hydrological, like all its imbalancing or balancing features. It has a good assemblage. Okay, so this is the few signature things which we came to know. And the crux of the situation is that we can analyze that cryosphere, C for cryosphere, C for climate change, both are interlinked. Cryosphere and climate change means any issue with this cryosphere will be having a issue with my climate change too. So cryosphere and climate change is carrying a huge and immense interlinked feedbacks. Okay, we'll be discussing more about it. Now, moving towards my next slide, this is a very important, like what is our present situation? Like we have spoken about what is my cryosphere. I have spoken about like why it is important. Now it's the crux to let you all know that what is this present situation. Now, why we need to worry about the situation. Now, our surface of the earth, which is covered by ice sheets and the frozen grounds, it is shrinking by an average of 33,000 square miles. Or if I convert it into kilometer, it's 87,000 square kilometer per year between the variation 1979 to 2016. So this is equivalent to losing an area of South Carolina per year. Very like South Carolina, like it's a like this kind of situation, like losing a state like South Carolina per year is not a easiest matter. It will like not be very beneficial for our sustenance on the surface of the earth. Okay, so this study, this whole thing which has been published by the AGU, that is American Geographical Union Journal, published by the Earth's Future. It was a first global assessment who have given us an assessment of the analytical perceptions about this extent of the cryosphere. And as I just spoke, that cryosphere climate change. So this signature, this influence, this impacts they have spoken about my climate change. Now, according to AGU, that is American Geographical Union, the cryosphere, which is critical to the cooling of our planet by reflecting the sunlight off its white colored surface. I have also spoken about this thing. Also, like this phenomenon, they were holding 75% of the Earth's fresh water. We know that the frozen part carries they carries the 75% of the fresh water. Now, any change in the size, location, and the ice and snow, they have significant amount of the reduction in the sea level. Now, what will be happening? Like we will be not only striving for fresh water, but also like we will be not only striving for freshwater ecosystem, but we will be having like we will be left out with only the marine situation, salt waters only. Okay. Now, to no surprise, the greatest losses to the cryosphere occurred in the northern. Now, basically, like more affected part is my northern hemisphere. Okay. Now, the cryosphere is the southern hemisphere actually explained during that period. Like they have somehow maintained like their expansion has been slightly lesser than the northern hemisphere, and they have mainly due to these due to the different kind of wind patterns, oceanic current circulations, and inflection of the cold meltwater from the Antarctic ice sheets. But in the Arctic region, which is in my northern hemisphere, thereby the inflection was more of my higher zones, more of my higher temperature zones. So that's why they're like this situation have carried my imbalances over my polar regions. Okay. Now, the report has found that the average first day of freezing in cryosphere is now I'm talking about just now, like present situation, that 3.6 days later than what it was in 1979. So while the thaws on average is 5.7 days earlier. So you can understand like the variation, the divergence, like it's huge. And if it continues like this situation, like we would be like remaining with huge like problematic situation in this earth surface. Now this is I have put a quote which has been provided by AGU report, that is the cryosphere is one of the most sensitive climatic indicators and the first one to demonstrate a changing world, which was said by the first author Xiaoping Peng, a physical geographer at Langzhou University, that its change in size represents a major global climate change rather than a regional or local issue. Means regionally or locally it will hamper, but it's more like it's not of that small situation, it's of a wider impact. Like it's carrying a wider imbalances. Now, the cryosphere holds almost 3/4 of the Earth's freshwater, and in some mountainous regions, they have dwindling glaciers, threatened drinking water supply. So, this water supply situation is also going to get reduced, because if whole melt, like fresh water, used to get melt in this category or in this notion, like as I told, that we are going to remain with the marine waters only. So, to compile this global climate issue of the for the extent of my cryosphere, so the authors, they have divided up the plant surface into some grid zones, like into different kind of grid square zones. So they use existing data sets of the global ice sheets, and they have found that they estimated that the extent of the cryosphere on a daily, monthly, and yearly basis, and examined how it changed over the last 37 years of their study. So they have maintained the analytical process. Now, this global data set is basically we can use for our like this notion, like this change what we have got from the AGU, we can analyze it, well, like we can use these data to make a further prop or our further scientific analysis for our climate change issues, like the carbon exchange, like how they are impacting, like the carbon exchange, carbon storing, carbon crediting, like how we can like make a control over the situation, okay, for the timing of the plant and animal survival, for our survival, to make a good stable ecosystem about within the biotic and abiotic system. Okay, so this is all what is our present situation. Now, why this situation is happening? Like we have spoken about what is cryosphere, what is its importance, present situation. Now, why this situation is happening? The major question: what are the causes of the situation? Now, cryosphere is changing rapidly due to man-made climate changes. These are as follows. Okay, what are the situations? First one is burning coal, oil and gas produces. They are producing carbon dioxide and nitrous oxide, two major heinous chemicals. Okay, now burning coal, oil, we can stop it because of so much of vehicular pollution, air pollution, so many industries. Like industries are being the backbone of our economic system, so we can't stop them too. And most importantly, yeah, we can we can understand, like we can stop it for our GDP issues, GNP issues, but fine, like we can conserve it, we can think for its conservations, we can think for our different kind of the different kind of the issues which will be helping us to reduce its the quantity of the emissions whatever they are making. But it's not happening anymore. Like we are not thinking for that, like whatever the the degradation we are making, we are not making that qualitative efficiency to have a reduction out of it. We are not that making out of it, like we are not that balancing that equations. Now, second point is my cutting down of the forest, that is deforestation. That's a very heinous another heinous issue, like the construction, this huge buildings, construction of malls, like chopping of the trees, construction of the malls is going on, then the flooding of the wetlands, and many more. So next is my increase of the livestock farming due to commercial purposes. This livestock farming have enhanced huge importance, it's going on and on and on. That is also creating a huge impact on the survival. Fertilizers containing my nitrogen produces nitrous oxide emissions. Now, fertilizers, see, our world, so much of huge population, without the fertilizers, their cultivation, it's impossible. The population is growing at a very faster rate. So to survive and sustain that population, we definitely need fertilizer. But the consequences we are coming from the fertilizers, this chemical pollutions, that are very heinous. That is actually creating a very dynamic approach, and that dynamic approach is creating our issue for our survival in the near future, in the sheer future, which is very crucial for all of us. Now, fluorinated gases are emanated from the equipments, and that produces these gases. Fluorinated gases, different kind of CFC gases, we are creating use of so many air conditioners, refrigerators, use of the modern, all the modern technologies, this kind of phenomenon is creating huge amount of the impacts. Now, one thing I'd like to say to all of you, now Mahatma Gandhi ji once told this, which one of the stalwart of our nation, once he told that nature has enough to meet the need of the people, but not the greed of the people. So this greediness of the people have went on increasing for these so many long years, and that is how somehow this man-made anthropogenic features are creating a huge imbalance for our stable ecosystem. Now, so this is all about our causes. Now, this is all about our causes of the present situation, like why this is happening. These are the core features. Next I'd like to discuss the consequences of the present situation, like why this situation, like what are my consequences, what we can, like what we are getting, like what are the consequences, it's like what are the impacts out of it. Now, as I have already discussed, that the polar regions are the majorly affected, that they are warming faster than any other places of the planet. They affect global temperature and they have direct impact on the climate change. So from the very beginning, I was saying only one thing, that is cryosphere climate change, a direct balancing situation, like they have a very good relationship within them, vice versa relationship. Shrinking of one will be like carrying an immense the degradational phenomenon for the climate change. Okay, now I'd like to discuss two phenomena out of here, that the two major consequences of here. One is dynamic glacial thinning, another is my loss of permafrost. First one is my dynamic glacial thinning. What is it? Now, dynamic, by what we can understand, rapid. Glacial thinning, we can understand like the melting of the ice sheets or the glaciers. Now, hereby I have attached a diagram also. You guys can see that as the fresh water, this navy blue color is portraying here by my fresh water. Okay, so what happens, like they are in a totally freshwater zone, but when they are constantly like making a seepage out of it, because hereby you can see the seepage is coming out of it, because they are melting continuously or spontaneously. Now what is happening, like from the inner parts also they are having huge warm situation, and like evaporation happens from the moisture balance, imbalance, temperature, pressure situation, evaporation happens, then only it completes our hydrological cycle. But hereby the situation is that if the fresh water from the ground surface, only if they start melting and their droplets starts going like towards a downward situation, what the situation they are making in the downward, I mean to say in the ground in the innermost portions, what they are happening, like the warmer temperature, what they which like the salt water which they were creating, they were not getting the possibility to rise above, and they were getting subducted in the lower zones only. Now now this subducted warm zones, they are like creating more heinous situations, that they are keeping warm they are keeping the lower bodies also, they are keeping it very much warm, and that is why this warm situations, they are not letting the evaporation to happen. And for this situation, they like as this fresh water they are getting continued to melt out, it is forcing more warm water salt to flow at the bottom, means they are not allowing the salt water or the warm water to come to come above, but they are like subducting it to be in the lower zones. Okay, so what is happening, so in the bottom part, or like the residual ice sheets, they are also getting melted from the below, which is causing large pieces of the ice to fall off. So in the like sheets are getting melted, fine. Bottom part also, the huge chunks, they are also getting melted. So this is my dynamic glacial thinking. In the diagram, in the like it have been divided into 4 points, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like fresh water is like shrinking. Then here by the cold bound water, like they are like forming. And then the number 3, this bound like this like the seepage water, they are stopping the warm water. Now this warm water, they are basically like they are like making a more dynamic situation to erode my my strong ice sheets. Okay, or the large pieces of my ice sheets. Okay, so this is my one part, and next part I would like to discuss about my permafrost, that is a loss of permafrost. Permafrost is also a frozen soil, the layer of soil which is frozen, which is composed of the soil, gravel and sand brought together by the ice. Okay, so this permafrost basically contains huge amount of the carbon dioxide, methane that are stored over underground the soil for thousands of long years. Okay, so for the consequence of this rapid thawing and the rapid melting, this huge amount of the carbon dioxide and methane is releasing into the atmosphere. It's again creating huge amount of pollution. So this, if the ground is frozen all over the long year, we call it permafrost, but we are losing this permafrost. Now, this like the how situations is going on, I have already explained, due to huge amount of the eruptions, like deforestations and other functioning processes. Now, frozen ground, like this mostly in the Arctic and Antarctic polar regions, they have also begun to melt as because of the climate is getting warmed. Often they have called as an active layer near the surface because plant can live, because the soil, if the soil gets thawed, like if the soil is getting thawed for over the like huge amount of for a long period of time being, so that also creates an important barrier for the ecosystem phenomenon. Now, next is this loss of permafrost is creating a problem for the building structures, constructional zones. Most important point is that they carries or they stores greenhouse gases. That is, I have just spoken, that carbon dioxide and the methane. So they are creating an immense destruction. Now, scientists are studying this, like how these gases they are affecting the climatic features, how we can do what we can, like more initiative, what we can take from our side, like all processes and function things are going on, but still this immense feature is going on, like it needs to be stopped, but the functioning is going on and on and on. Okay, now we need to right now, like after discussing all the situation, present scenario, consequences, its impact, we need to talk about like what we can do now, like what is our like the basic situations, how we can overcome these situations right now, like what is there in our hand, or what we can do to make our ecosystem a stable one. To like, so this is issue just now I have spoken, that cryosphere, climate change. So this climate change issue, about this climate change issue is highly, as because I have already said that the issue of the rise in temperature, so the issue is highly related with my, once again, global warming. So cryosphere, climate change, next part is coming my global warming, which is my rise in temperature, because melting processes functioning, so rise in temperature, pressure distribution changes, they are carrying immense importance. There is no one size fit all process, like we can't say only one approach. We like there are several approach, and that approach will be varying from one person to another perspective to another perspective. Now we have to think like what we can do to, like major thing we have to do, like we have to think about the sustainable development. Okay, so then our, like we can use the benefits of our present ecosystem, and our future generation can use the benefits of the present ecosystem too in the near or sheer future. But what is the situation, like what we can do, like many strategies are there. For example, mainly shifting to the use of the renewable resources will be very helpful for all of us. Second of all, like the major cause, that is a vehicular emission. So we can stop this vehicular emission once we shift our use, like once we stop our use for this fossil fuel, and we shift our like all this like we shift our change into electric vehicles. So like electric vehicles will have like very lesser amount, like the pollution we can control. Okay, that will be like a very feasible one, which will be like not as much as in a very mass level as my fossil fuel. Okay, next we have like where affordable we can conserve energy by better like insulating our homes and building, like by replacing our old gadgets with the newer ones, that will be more energy efficient. When practically we are counterbalancing our annual carbon dioxide emission, like we can like analyze that how much emissions we are creating. So for that situation, we can plant more trees, we can use different kind of afforestation techniques, gardening, plantation process at our home. Like might be we have very small area alongside our home, we can use that area for our functioning too. Now where practical, we can support more local businesses which is promoting more sustainable, more climate smart practices such as those listed above. Okay, so now we are now the next point would be, like we can consider placing an upper limit on the amount of carbon dioxide we allow ourselves to emit into the atmosphere within a given time frame. Means we can give a target to ourselves. Okay, within this year we will be not making this kind of the destruction. So we can make ourselves an analysis. Okay, so stabilizing global temperature, stabilizing the pressure temperature balance, the circulation balance is the major criteria for eliminating all these issues. Now this issue is like a very important for all of us, like creating a very destructional feature. Okay, as I have spoken that cryosphere is important for all of us, at the same time climate change is like climate change must not happen with all of us, because climate change not only creates some of the issues, like whatever the issues I have, like it's not only shrinking, like it's not only letting the cryosphere to shrink, but climate change is like creating huge amount of the national perspective problems, also social cultural problems also. Hereby the enhancement of the climatic refugees, like huge amount, like most importantly, as we live in the huge zonation whereby like most of the parts is our water bodies. So what is the situation, like if more melting happens, then those small continents with the, like whatever the remaining land surfaces we are left out, all the persons or all the remaining like the aerial accommodation is going to be succumbed with the within that the remaining land surfaces only, and that would be leading to my huge amount of the overpopulation, over succumsion in the specific region, crowding, and many more. And this crowding will be definitely leading to you the huge amount of the health issues, like different kind of the hygienic issues, so many more. So like these are the different kind of aspects which is related to one or the other statements. Now, I have tried to explain all the features, all the phenomenon related to this specific topic. Now hope you all have liked it. So hereby, by this situation, like by discussing till this situation, that how they are creating and how they are like impacting and how we can overcome this situation. Hereby, till this now, I would like to finish my discussion over here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for all the thank you all for all of the patience which you have given me to hear me out. Thank you, everyone. I'd like to end here. Bye, everyone.